The use of potentially addictive painkillers across England has doubled in the last 15 years, according to a leading health group. 50,000 patients who were studied who were prescribed at least one of 4 types of potentially addictive drugs. Opioid painkillers such as codeine and tramadol were the most commonly prescribed. In 2015, they were issued to one patient in 20, double the rate back in 2000. The length of time people are being prescribed opioid painkillers has also increased from just over 2 months in 2000 to a peak of over 3 months in 2014. Our health correspondent Dominic Hughes has been meeting some of those whose lives have been shattered by a growing dependence on prescription drugs.
Put your shirt out the way.
A few months before, I was just this normal guy working full time with kids and a wife and happy, and then all of a sudden I'm basically a drug addict.
A routine prescription drug led James to the brink of destruction.
We'll have a look at your urine test.
He's now getting help to deal with a crippling addiction to powerful opioid painkillers, commonly prescribed drugs like codeine, morphine or tramadol. James's problems started with severe stomach aches, but the painkillers he was prescribed quickly stopped working. Desperate for pain relief, he was soon spending £400 a month on additional supplies from online pharmacies. He went from taking 8 pills a day to 50, and almost before he knew it, his life had spiralled out of control.
I thought it would be fine. I thought I'd be on these tablets short term, but then before I knew it, I couldn't get off them.
For James, the side effects were terrible: headaches, nausea, constipation, and then a series of seizures that he feared would end his life.
They can ruin your life without you knowing, because I do believe that probably within a year, if I'd have carried on taking the same amounts or increasing, probably would have killed me.
Research in just a handful of GP practices in James's town alone identified more than 100 people dependent on painkillers. But responsibility for helping them falls between the NHS and local councils, and schemes like the one James is on are rare. The key seems to be a better understanding of the nature of pain. That's what they're trying in Gloucestershire.
Has anybody had pain today?
Talking to doctors and pharmacists about pain management, as well as identifying and helping patients who are struggling.
Most people with persistent pain will describe it as severe.
No one should stop their medication before seeking the advice of their GP. But one of the country's leading pain experts says it's clear patients using opioid drugs for a long time are often getting little benefit but suffer all the side effects.
I'm not suggesting that somebody who's benefiting should have their drugs removed, but out of a population who are taking these drugs, the majority will not be benefiting, and those patients should be supported to come off their medicines.
He's playing Jenga here at Grandma's.
Stephen Jones knows just how devastating it can be when the use of opioid painkillers is not monitored closely. An accidental overdose killed his 24-year-old daughter Sarah after her use escalated dramatically. Stephen took the call from a paramedic.
My heart just sank, and I've never felt like that ever in my life. It was literally the worst day of my life. That I hope I never have to go through it again with the children. So no father expects to be at the child's funeral.
Stephen Jones there talking to our health correspondent Dominic Hughes.